What's up? We got Arrow Season 3, Episode 23. My name's Oliver Queen, the season finale. So I'm gonna get to my review of. I'm gonna say what I felt about Arrow Season 3. It's okay. It's not one of my favorite seasons of Arrow, but it's okay. I feel like the first two were way better because they had good pacing. Some of the characters were written well, and the flashbacks were not boring. I didn't like Laurel. I liked Laurel on some accounts. Sometimes she would make me not like her, and sometimes she would. I didn't like Red at all. I liked Felicity. She was hilarious, but there would be some moments where I would disagree with her. And again, the flashbacks were the worst of it. I didn't like them. They were too boring. That's why I kept skipping them every time I would go to a new episode, because I knew they would be boring. Hong Kong is great, but I'm just saying it's not a good place. Like, if Oliver just stuck on Lee and Yu, like, if the whole season was on Lee and Yu, and Oliver, like, after Slade, Oliver was figuring out what he would do next, he could have just went home. He could have just left. But no, he decided to stay and go to Hong Kong. I'm just gonna say it. Arrow Season 3 isn't a bad season, but it isn't one of my favorites. Next season, we will be going on to a meh. But I'll check it, I'll see if I like it. But let's go with the actual review of this episode. This episode starts off with Oliver on a plane with Roz and Nyssa, and yeah, so meanwhile, we see Barry flashing. Yeah, Barry's in this scene, and he flashes in, releases Tatsu, and releases everyone else from the link of control. And he also says, "You guys got a hot tub?" And yeah, it seems like, so Oliver was vaccinated from the bioweapon 5 years ago, and Merlin was able to create a duplicate of that, and he vaccinated Thea and vaccinated the other characters. He vaccinated Thea off screen, of course. But yeah. So Barry's like, hey, so Felicity's like, so even Merlin knows, but Barry's like, hey, why don't you help us? So Barry's like, hey, I gotta go talk with Eobard Thawne. I gotta put in conversation with Eobard Thawne, but I'm sure Oliver's got this. And Nicole's like, I don't count on it. And she was like, Oliver's in Greek with his plans these days. So, Barry speeds out of there, and they just go back home. So on the plane, Oliver thinks then Ross thinks that Nyssa messed up the plane, but Oliver's like, it's you, Asahim, and you always ghul. And Oliver's like, my name is Oliver Queen. And Oliver's like, Oliver Queen is dead, and you will be too. And yeah, so all of his whole deception was kind of pointless, because Ross was like, see ya, I'm gonna fly on this plane and take the bioweapon and kill your city anyway, so see ya, bye. So Oliver's whole deception was kind of pointless. Oliver's whole pretending to be Ross's friend was kind of pointless, because he's going to take it anyway. So he and Nyssa fly the plane down to Starling City, bust into Palmer Tech, and Diggle and Oliver gets a rifle punch by Diggle, and Oliver reveals that hey, he wasn't planning on living. He wanted to die in that plane. He wasn't planning on having this conversation. So yeah, but the whole plan was to make sure Oliver, Diggle, and Felicity were safe. And Diggle's like, you trusted Malcolm Merlin more than you trusted the more people closest to you. So Oliver decides to. So he's not trying to kill Starling City. He's trying to use the bioweapon to kill the city, but he's also trying to kill Damien Dark, or Damien. So they decided to warn Damien Dark, but Damien Dark already left Starling City, and his butler is like, see you, but Oliver's like, boom, and doesn't kill the butler. But yeah, it kind of looked like he kills the butler, but the butler isn't dead. But funny thing, we never see this butler again. yeah, this butler's just here. We never see him again. He's never mentioned or seen. He's just here to say Damien has left Starling, but he's never seen again. So bye, butler. Done. So yeah, so like very good plan, Mr. Queen, trying to. So yeah, see, yeah. So Thea shows up with Roy's suit, wearing a modified version of Roy's suit, and decides to and yeah. But they learn that Roz is using his own men to disperse the virus. So yeah. So yeah. So Oliver and Roz have a fight. Quentin people are like, hey, Captain, we don't know which one of them fighting, but one of them is the one why this virus is whole started, and we're gonna kill one of them. So he's like, hey, Felicity, I know I have a problem with your guy right now, but my people aren't listening to me, and your guy is gonna get shot. So Felicity's like, Ray, you need to help me, but he's like, no, with that suit. So he kills Roz. So Oliver kills the Batman villain, gets shot off. Felicity saves him. She proves that she still wants to cheat on her current boyfriend with Oliver by saying, if I could, I would kiss you right now if I could take off this helmet. I'm just like, does Felicity even care about Ray? She cheats on him with Oliver. She wants to kiss Oliver instead of him. Does Felicity even care about Ray? So yeah. So we see Laurel in her final time with the other blonde wig that Laurel's been wearing at the final for the series. This is her final time ever wearing it because they get rid of it immediately after this episode. So bye blonde wig. Bye Laurel's blonde wig. We never see you again. Or yeah, we never see the blonde wig the wig again. I don't think so. So yeah, so. Roz, who's dying, gives Oliver the ring before he got shot. So he gives it to Merlin, saying, I'm not going to forgive you for what you did to Thea and what you did for Sarah. And he's like, are we enemies again? And he's like, it depends on whatever you do with the ring I gave you. So Malcolm Merlin decides to become the new Ra's al Ghul. Much to Nissa's annoyance. Because remember, she hates him for some reason. She hates him for killing Sarah. So he's like, you can have your vengeance, but now kneel before the new Ra's al Ghul. And she does. So, yeah, so Felicity and Oliver decide to leave Starling City. Oliver says, hey, Dig, you might want to consider wearing a mask. And Dig was like, Felicity breaks off with Ray because she's like, Ray who? And decides to go off with Oliver, ending the season. So, that was season 3. And yeah, so Thea is thinking of calling herself Red Arrow, but Oliver's like, hey, I've now told everyone to call you Speedy, so see you next season, Speedy. Okay. Felicity, I don't get her. I don't get her character this season. First she doesn't want Oliver. Then she dates Ray. Then she now decides to cheat on Ray, and now she wants Oliver again. What is up with her? Why did they keep flip-flopping her? She only dated Ray because she knew Oliver couldn't date her. And yeah, so Oliver says that how he can't. I'm gonna get back to this in a minute, but Oliver says about how Roz took the arrow name from him, and he can't be that person if he tried. So I guess the arrow is dead. The arrow is dead. The hood was taken. The arrow is dead. What is his next code name, everybody? Who knows? But Felicity is kind of... So Oliver didn't want Felicity. So she moved on to Ray. Then, immediately, she decides to cheat on Ray by sleeping with Oliver. And now she wants to cheat on Ray again by kissing Oliver. And then she decides to break up with Ray to go off in the sunset with Oliver. Like, I don't get this. Felicity... And will Roz's death come back to bite Oliver later? Because them killing off a Batman villain is I'm presuming a Batman pillow. As a Batman, look, it's the Batman villain. Batman. They killed off this guy's villain. They killed off Ra's al Ghul, which is Batman's villain. So, how, like, is that going to come to bite Oliver later? Knowing that, because remember, there are two Al Ghul siblings. There are Nissa Al Ghul and Talia Al Ghul. And we don't even know where Talia Al Ghul is. Is she going to come back later on in the show and want revenge? Because obviously Nissa Al Ghul isn't only the Al Ghul sibling. Ra's al Ghul had Nissa Al Ghul and Talia. And I guess he had a son named probably Ben Al Ghul. But we'll never know who his other family is. But I'm just saying that this season is okay. I wouldn't say it's the best season of the show. The best. I wouldn't say it's the best. I would say it's okay. The flashbacks were kind of boring. The yellow Hong Kong like skies were kind of like too. Amanda Waller kind of didn't do anything in the end. She kind of just didn't do anything in the end. Amanda Waller wasn't even in this finale. Like, Amanda Waller didn't even show up. They didn't even need artists. So, yeah. Amanda Waller has shown up in seasons 2. Last season was the only finale where Amanda Waller showed up. She wasn't even in this one. But anyway, that's it for the season 2 finale of Arrow. And I'll see you next time for some more. I'll see you next time when we get to season 4.